Please welcome Iowa Senator Joni Ernst.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Wow, it is great to have you here today and talking about a topic that's very important to all of us here in the state of Iowa, as well as many other states as well, agriculture. This is the heartland of America, and what a great day to be here, beautiful, warm, sunny, and talk about our favorite topics. So I do want to thank Bruce Rastetter for putting together this event. I think it is highly beneficial to all of us as we visit with some of our extraordinary leaders out there. So again, thanks for being here. As many of you know, I hope you know, I grew up in southwest Iowa, and I lived on a farm. And on that farm, we produced corn, soybeans, and of course, the favorite punchline for everybody now is that we raised hogs also. So, grew up doing those chores that everybody likes to talk about nowadays. But I was blessed to have grown up in the type of environment that I did, and truly appreciate everything that my folks taught me. Growing up on a farm, as many of you will know and recollect from your childhood, is that we were tasked to do some of those very difficult chores that really developed us into who we are today. But that was part of growing up in a rural setting. My parents taught me to work very, very hard. They worked hard for everything that they achieved in their lifetime, and it really instilled a very good work ethic in all of us kids, and we've gone on to work very hard throughout our lives. So I know that many of you will understand that and appreciate it in the way that we were brought up. A story that I like to tell from southwest Iowa that really demonstrates this and the hard work that we have through all the years is a story about neighbors and what you do when you grow up in a rural area and you know how to work your own chores, but at the end of the day, when you have a neighbor that's in need, you will step in and help that neighbor with their chores and their activities too. So back in southwest Iowa a number of years ago, there was a farming incident, a gentleman that I knew very well from Villisca. And tragically, he was injured very badly in this farming accident, and he was hospitalized up in Council Bluffs, Iowa. It was during harvest season, and again, it was a very serious incident. And what to do? The harvest is out in the fields. And so no worries about that harvest, because the minute that word spread and went up on the local radio station that this gentleman had been injured, all of his neighbors, his friends, they all came to his farm, and there were more combines in the field and wagons to haul in the corn than you can imagine. And they brought that harvest in because it was important to support their neighbor and their friend. And that's how we grew up. We grew up working hard, not only for ourselves, for our own families, but helping those others as they needed it. That's the type of work ethic that we have here, and that's what our rural communities have developed and instilled in us. So I was very proud of that. I was proud of the community. I was proud of Montgomery County for pulling together to help this amazing farmer. So you can see here in Iowa, and as well as many other parts of the country, that agriculture is not just a job, but it is truly a way of life for many of us. And that's why in this particular occasion in Villisca, the community came together and they showed that so very well to the rest of Iowa and to the rest of the nation. But farmers across Iowa are proud of the essential role that they play in our daily lives and what they do for our economy, which is why it's so important that we make sure that the folks in Washington, D.C. should not hamper or hold back our industry, our innovation, our growth and the production. They should not hamper us, hold us back with unnecessary and overburdensome rules and regulations. We don't need that type of oversight, and we will continue to push back on that. And I often say, as I'm out talking about different types of agriculture, that a farm in Maryland is not the same as a farm here in Iowa. They are very, very different. And so folks in Washington, too often, when they hear about a farm, they want to make it a one-size-fits-all approach. And we can't do that. The types of farms that we have here are different. Maryland is different, Iowa is different, Virginia is different, Texas is different, California is different. We all have our own ways of farming. So what we will do in Washington, D.C. is make sure that we are engaging all of these people, all of these wonderful leaders that have come out today, making sure they understand those differences in those types of agriculture, and then pushing back against those rules and regulations. So we'll continue to do that. I will make sure that I am fighting for our farmers, whether it's here in Iowa or whether it is standing out in Washington, D.C., making sure they know the differences from that seed to food and fuel. We'll make sure they know those differences. So part of the way that I can do that is by serving with our wonderful Senator Chuck Grassley on the Senate Agricultural Committee. It's a great opportunity for me to get out and fight for our way of life in the rural areas. So again, I do want to emphasize that rules and regulations have really taken over the industry, the agricultural industry. And as I've been out and about and talking with farmers, the one issue that comes up the most is rules and regulations. One of those being the waters of the U.S. How many have heard of that? Oh yeah, I see a lot of head nods. Yes. So I have written a letter to the EPA Administrator, Gina McCarthy, and I have invited her to come out to Iowa, come visit us on our farms, come out and see the differences between that Maryland farm and an Iowa farm. And although I haven't gotten a response from her yet, the invitation is open, and I hope that she will come out with some of her leadership and take the time to see why their action or inaction when it comes to the renewable fuel standard, how that impacts the daily lives of our farmers and those that are involved in our agricultural communities. So again, we've extended the invitation. We hope that she takes us up on that. And when she does, we will welcome her with open arms, and we'll take her around and just show her what it is to be involved in Iowa agriculture. So I do hope she does that very, very soon. We know that the renewable fuel is going to be very important moving forward. And again, we haven't received guidance from the EPA on where they want to go with renewable fuels. And so we will continue to push for an answer. It's critical that we know where we are going as a state with this industry. So we'll continue to push for answers. And it's not just an agricultural issue. Everybody knows how I feel about national defense. This is a national security issue as well, making sure that we are developing our own resources in the United States, whether it's to feed or fuel the world. So we need leaders in Washington, D.C. that will be supportive of our agricultural issues. This is a great opportunity today for some of these leaders to step forward and really talk about the issues that are important to you and I. So one of the issues that I'm excited about also is trade. So not only do we have rules and regulations we're concerned about the RFS, but I've heard from many farmers that they're concerned about trade and opening up new markets for our goods. We would love to feed and fuel more people around the world. So we'll continue to work on those issues as well, and I look forward to doing that. And then finally, I am dedicated to continuing the fight on behalf of all of our farmers here in Iowa, as well as all across the nation. We must fight, we must push back. There are so many fewer rural legislators that are serving not only in our local governments, in our state house, but also in our federal government. So I will continue that fight in Washington, D.C. I look forward to doing that for all of you. And of course, you are always welcome to visit with me when I'm in the state, call any of my staff members, but come visit me in Washington, D.C. as well. And I would love to introduce all of you to some of the great leaders that we have out there, because your voice is not only impactful in visiting with me, but also highlighting you, your wonderful careers, our great agriculture, to so many of these other people that don't have the opportunity to come from great rural states like Iowa. So I thank you for all that you do and all the lobbying that you do on behalf of our brilliant agricultural industry. So please, make that time, give me a call, give my staff a call. I'd love to visit with you about the issues that are pressing to you. So I want to thank you today for coming out. I want to thank Bruce for having this phenomenal gathering. And please make sure you're thanking all of these great leaders for coming forward and visiting us with us today on agriculture and what's happening here in Iowa. So thanks for coming out today. I look forward to visiting with you again in the future. Thanks so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.